Pass it over to them and let them introduce themselves.
Well, I'm Chaplain Mike Haywood, aka Chap, athletic director, and I just learned I'm OC.
My name is Maria Rodriguez, and I'm a sophomore at the College of Biblical Studies.
So, Chaplain Maria, I do want to thank you guys for giving us some of your time today and coming on the show and talking a little bit about what you do and kind of how you navigate that. So, Chap, you being the athletic director, and as you stated, you just found out you're the OC, what are some of the responsibilities that come into doing that on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I think my main job is just to oversee all of athletics, and including our coaches and players, and just to keep the atmosphere, as we like to say, Christian and holy, which is a full-time job. But also to serve. And I think that's what most leaders should really focus on, is how do we serve them and give them all that they need so they can be successful. So that's the big picture.
And then being in a position of authority over a lot of young adults and people like that, a lot of people that look up to you, what kind of responsibilities does that have, and how do you navigate that in terms of ensuring that you're setting a good example?
Be a good example. That's the first thing, and my whole thing is really to follow and be like Christ and do whatever it takes to glorify Him. And I think that's what we always try to instill in our coaches and our athletes, that all that we do is to the glory of God. So that's it, and it's good. It's tough sometimes, but it's a labor of love.
And then you being in that position, what are some of the things that you've seen from a bird's eye view as a member of the student body? What are some things that you've seen them kind of navigate, and how have you seen improvement in those areas over time?
Oh, wow. We've seen so much improvement over the first 2 years, and it's largely because of the coaching staff that we have. And our first year head coach this year, I call her my 17 and 8. She's an amazing, amazing coach. Recruiting, they got it. I mean, they understood our mission is to educate and equip multi-ethnic Christian leaders to impact the world for Christ. And they know that. And so they've gone out and they've recruited some incredible athletes, to where we've gone from having just a few students who are honor roll to now having over 12 honor roll students this year. And they're not only are they incredible athletes, but they're incredible scholars as well. So that's been the big turnaround. And again, these coaches are helping us to make and achieve those goals.
And with CBS and the athletic program being, as you stated, it's kind of fresh, it's the second year going on, what are some of the things that you've seen improve over the first year to the second year, and what do you expect to come in the next couple of years?
Oh my goodness, have we seen so much improvement. First of all, I got to give a shout out to our leader, my leader, Dr. Lisa Stewart. And again, amen. And the incredible job that she's done making sure that we are recruiting the right student athletes, but not only recruiting the right student athletes, but making sure that they have the things that they can be successful. We're implementing study hall to make sure that they have an opportunity to engage with professors, engage with one another, to make sure that they're passing their courses. And so over the last year and a half or so, since coming on board and taking over the athletic department, that's what we've done, and we focused on it. And our coaches, like I said, they've been right there with us every step of the way. And the overall improvement of student athletes, both on and off the court, has just skyrocketed. And so we're grateful for that.
And Maria, kind of speaking on what Chap said, and how the people in positions of power they invest in you guys and they want to see you succeed on and off the court. What is that like for you, being a student athlete and knowing that the people above you, they're so into you and they want the best for you?
I feel like they really care about us. They want us to be very successful, and we really appreciate that from them.
And then kind of seeing that, and over your time at CBS, what are some of the things that you've seen improvement in yourself, whether that be academically or athletically?
I feel like I came a long way since my first year as a freshman, playing ball, and academically, it's been going well so far. Yeah.
And would you say that having those people above you, that not only have they seen what it's like to be in your position, they've played at these levels and they've kind of had hands-on experience, would you say that that's impacted your experience at all, and in what way?
I feel like they've showed me how I can get through things, because they've been through it all, and yeah, they helped me get through things.
And being a student athlete, what are some of the challenges that kind of come on a day-to-day basis, and how do you navigate that and ensure that you're kind of staying in the right headspace?
You have to prioritize your time. Like, you have to know when you can do like fun activities and when not, because you still have to do work, work out on your own, and all of that.
And what are some of the differences you've seen at the collegiate level as opposed to playing, maybe in high school or things like that? And how do you kind of adjust your game to playing at that level?
The collegiate level is faster than high school, so you have to have a great IQ to see like the court and all of that.
And
Yeah.
when it comes to like film and things like that, how important is that in terms of finding an edge and using things other than your speed and your athleticism to be able to kind of put your best foot forward?
Film is very important because the other teams like, what's the word? What's the word? I don't know the word. Like, their like the lows, how they get down, their tendencies. Yes, thank you. Their tendencies, and I feel like film helps a lot. Yeah.
And do you yourself have any tendencies or any kind of things, any rules you go by that kind of help you stay grounded?
Yes. I feel like when I get down, like the players on the court could see my face, and they'll know like I'm not in my right headspace. So, but my teammates and my coaches help me get through that.
And Chad, you spoke on the leaders and the people in positions of power at CBS and how they've kind of helped build the foundation for what it is now. What does it mean to you to have those kind of people alongside you, and how do you see that trickle down into the student body?
Well, that's essential, that you have people who are in your corner, who are supporting you, who are helping to raise funds, who are there, not only moral support, but they're cheering our teams on, our girls on, spending time, and to have people in places to help us with even things as simple as budget items and things of that nature. Folks who come around to help us to create content and graphics and all those things. You need all that support, Jaylen, at this level. So, and we've got it. We've got some excellent people. Mr. Waveland, I can't say enough about her and the job that she's done to make sure that we're on point in those areas, especially for stuff like, us old folks, folks over 65 struggle with social media. She'll actually come in and say, click here, chap, click here, chap, click here, chap. And so we need all that support, and we get it, and I'm so grateful for it.
And the vibe that we get kind of speaking with you guys on a regular basis is it's a very family-oriented, it's a very cohesive group and environment. How important do you think that is in terms of making sure that the product is always the best and everyone is on the same page?
Well, one of the things that we get challenged with donors come around are distinctives and what makes us distinct from any other school. And one of the key things is that family, that tight-knit family unit, that we love one another, that we honestly love one another. You'll see them, especially these ladies, they chuckle, they stay together, and oh my goodness, I don't understand it all the time, but it is. And then you have, again, the professors and all of us, we're close-knit, so we try to get in each other's life. It's hard sometimes with young people to try to pull things out, but as much as possible, to be able to come alongside them and be available. I think that's the thing, that our folks that are over us and folks at our level and even at the student level, faculty level, everybody's available.
And then having coaches and people on the staff who have played at a D1 level, they played high-level collegiate basketball. What does that mean to you in terms of how does that trickle down onto the players, and what do you see them sowing into the players to help them be their best self?
They've been there. And we have two of the greatest coaches. I'm really afraid that somebody's going to try to come and offer them a whole lot of money to leave us because they're just that good. We have Michael Young, of course, 3 Final Fours, 5 Stamina Jamma. And then we have this amazing Sasha Martins, who I call her, again, my 17 and 8. The reason why I call her that, Jaylen, because she's played at that level. And in her senior year, That was her average. She's 17-8. I think she had like 6 broken legs and a broken arm. No, seriously. She was injured throughout her senior year and still played and committed at that level. So with that experience, they bring that experience to these young people. But not only the on-the-court stuff, but they bring the off-the-court stuff and the things that they have to manage and navigate through being a student-athlete themselves. So that's incredible for us.
And in reference to Coach Sasha, that level of grit and determination and what it takes to kind of get through that and do what she's done, how do you see that kind of play a role in her being a coach now at CBS, and how do you see that fall back on the students?
Well, she enforces it. She makes sure. And you know, she knows when to push buttons, when to hold them back. She knows her student-athletes. I think that's another thing. When you've played at that level, you know that student-athletes respond in different ways, and she knows that. She knows when to push buttons. She knows how to push those buttons with certain players, but then she knows how to love on them. I've seen Coach Sasha be in a player's face, and in the next moment, she's got a loving hand around their arm to give them that security. And boy, I tell you what, as an athletic director, that means the world to me, that she has that much care and concern for our student athletes. And the same thing with Coach Young. They know they're student athletes, and that's supreme.
And so, do you think them kind of taking that to make a personal relationship with the players and with the students and things like that? Do you see that manifest itself on a day-to-day basis and how they kind of operate with each other? It
does. It absolutely does. I've been around the game for a long time. My wife's cousin is Keith Jones of the Rockets, and I've seen at that level. But also I have a cousin who also coached D1 basketball. I was the chaplain at Blaine College for 7 years, so I've seen coaches and how they respond. And some coaches they're just for themselves. But our coaches are truly concerned about the student athletes, and it makes a huge difference on the sideline, in the locker room, and even in the classroom. They make sure they know that students need to be in study hall, and they do, and can help us to control that as well.
And being a school that incorporates faith into the curriculum and, you know, kind of allowing students to put that on blast and allow them to be themselves, what does that mean for you to be able to kind of see the students be able to be their best self and express their academics, their faith, and their athletics all at the same time?
Well, before chaplain, I'm pastor, and I've had 32 years in pastoral experience, and I know that faith without works is dead, and we have to exercise that faith every day. We have to be able to trust God, and I've seen them grow into that. A lot of the student athletes are growing even more in their faith. They're having discussions amongst themselves, Bible studies, even controversies, which is good. But those are the kind of things that are going to keep us in God's favor. And I preach that all the time. We got to be in God's favor. We're great athletes. We're great coaches. But without God's favor, it means absolutely nothing.
And how important is it for you, as you said, a pastor and being in a position of leadership, to provide that space for the student body and staff members to be able to express themselves in that manner?
You just have to shepherd. You have to be like Christ. You have to love like Christ. You have to lead like Christ. And that means you become a servant leader. You know, I'm always looking back at the one sermon that I heard one of our presidents at CBS preached on the order of the towel, where Jesus actually washed feet. And that's the approach that we have to be as leaders, and we have to prove as leaders, so that we are always feet washers when it comes to serving one another. We don't want to be on top. We want to push our students to the top as we serve them and undergird them. So that's how important our role and faith is.
And Maria, you being a student athlete and you playing at the collegiate level, how important do you feel like it is for you personally to be a hard worker, knowing that everybody's strong, everybody's fast, and everybody's talented?
For me, it's important because you have to, like, in a game, you have to play a role, like your role. Maybe coaches need you, like, to take a charge. You have to be as strong to take a charge. You need to go get a steal. You have to have that, like, stamina to do that multiple times.
And then having a coach like Coach Sasha, who's played at the highest level and she's been everywhere that you're going, how does it mean to you to know that she's had that firsthand experience and she's walked those shoes?
Wait, can you repeat it again?
No, you're good. What does it mean to you just to have Coach Sasha, leading the way and knowing that she's walked in those shoes and she's been there?
Well, I know she's been there, so I can trust her. And, like, everything she tells me, I trust her.
And then having coaches that you can confide in and that you trust and that you know they're not going to steer you astray, what does that mean in terms of knowing that you have that belief in them, you have that faith in them, and they provide you with comfort along the way?
Well, I can say that they're not going to lead me, like, a wrong way. They're going to lead me to the right path. So, yeah.
And then from a basketball standpoint, what are some aspects of your game that you've seen improve over your time playing at the collegiate level and being at CBS?
I feel like my IQ has gotten better, my ball handling, like handling pressure, making the right reads. Yeah.
And when it comes to IQ and making the right reads and things like that, how much of that would you attribute to being mentally stronger and being able to address those capabilities?
Wait, what do you mean, like?
Do you feel like a lot of that is like mental when it comes to being smarter?
Yes, it's very mental. Because if you're in your head, you make the wrong pass, you make the wrong read.
And we've heard a lot from you guys that confidence is important, especially in terms of playing at this level and, kind of ensuring that you believe in yourself before anybody else can believe in you. What would you say in terms of believing in yourself, and how has your confidence improved over your time at CBS?
Well, since the first year I've got here, I feel like my confidence was very, like, low. But, training with Coach Sasha, putting the extra work, I feel like my confidence has gotten very good.
So you think that you've kind of improved mentally just by working and just being in the gym?
Yes.
And do you think that moving forward, in order to kind of reach another level, are you going to continue to do the same in order to improve yourself?
Definitely.
And you had a tough schedule. You playing at CBS. You had a tough schedule, and a lot of you guys' season has been overcoming adversity. What would you attribute being able to be ready on a night in, night out basis in order to put your best foot forward?
Well, you have to stay focused. I say focus. Like, helps you get through things. Yeah. Yeah.
And do you think a portion of that kind of comes from the coaching staff preparing you guys, on game day and making sure that everything's in the right place?
Yes. During practice, being prepared. I say coaches having the right practice plan throughout the week. I feel like that'll prepare us.
How do you make sure you're kind of in the right headspace going into a new game or going into a new week? Maybe you didn't have a great day, or maybe you're coming off a loss. How do you kind of get back in the right headspace and make sure that it's a clean slate moving forward?
Well, sometimes you have to like push things away. Like, let's say your friends want to go party or your friends want to go somewhere. You tell them no, that you have to lock in.
And is that something that you've kind of learned over your time playing at this level, that when you have to prioritize things in a certain way?
Yeah, through high school. Yeah.
And then at this level, since you said you've seen gradual improvement, from the IQ standpoint, from a ball handling standpoint, is there any aspects of your game that you're specifically working on, honing in on, and improving moving forward?
I say I want to keep working on my ball handling and my decision taking.
And the skills training, we've heard from Coach Sasha and Coach Ivy before that's a part of what they do. Is they had know all the coaching experience, but they also do skills training. Is having that to your benefit? Do you feel like that's an advantage moving forward?
Yes.
It is. And Chap, you being head over this institution and the responsibilities that you have on a day-to-day basis, how do you manage that and navigate that in terms of also making sure that you're setting a good example for the children?
Oh, well, I mean, that's the whole thing. As pastor or chaplain, athletic director, and now that I know I'm OC, you have to set that example. You have to live a life of Christ, and you have to, again, my preparation is in the Word of God. Every morning I've got to stay in the Word of God to be able to keep my capacity high, if that makes sense. And so because you can't drain your own capacity to be able to pour into others. So that's one thing that I really focus in on. So I've got to stay in the Word. I've got to worship every morning. If you come, everybody knows, you come by Chap's office in the morning, you're going to get a free concert. So, and those are the kind of things that are a must. In order to disciple people, you have to be a disciple. And so I really try to follow Christ as closely as I can, and that's just a priority.
And how important is it to you, personally, just to do your due diligence in that area and in that aspect to make sure that you're in the right headspace and you're in the right position?
Example. Leaders lead by example. We've heard that over and over and over again. And I've got to finish well. And when people are looking up, when you know people are looking up to you, you have to hold that line. There would be so much disappointment if I was to fall off. Or a young person would see me doing something that I've counseled them in, and I've failed myself. And so I hold myself accountable to that standard. And that's basically what 1 Peter chapter 3 tells us about. If you're going to hold an office like this, you've got to be above reproach. And that's my goal in life, is to finish well as a pastor. Because not only this group of young people, but like 32 years, I've got people who are still, I'm discipling. And I've always picked up on 1 or 2 or 3 people who I'll walk with, and they'll usually stay with me for the rest of their life. So just got to hold that standard and be above reproach.
And Chap, do you see it as pressure or privilege in terms of being in this position?
Privilege. Privilege. It's God's grace. I don't know how I got here. My pastor used to tell me a story about a frog that was on a pole. And he said that frog stayed up there, and everybody would come and ask him how he got up there. He said, I don't care how I got up here, but I'm enjoying the view. So it's all about God's grace, and that's the reason why it's a privilege to be here.
And from the athletic standpoint, seeing this kind of blossom into something bigger and bigger every year, what does that mean to you to kind of see this tangible expansion of CBS and what it can turn into?
Well, it's unbelievable. It's God in this. I don't know if you recall this, if you know this history, but 2 years ago we played a team called Grambling University, and we set an NCAA record. We finished last year with like 2 players on the floor. And for a first-year head coach to come in and turn a program completely around like this, knock off the #1 team in the nation in regionals, who could write a story like this? I'm trying to get somebody to write a movie script, and so we could have, I don't know who's going to play Sasha, but it's got to be somebody real well. But it's incredible, these young ladies, what they have achieved in just 1 year, her first year as a head coach. And I tell you, the buzzword is out about the College of Biblical Studies. I don't think they understand how much people are watching them, how much film other folks are looking at them. And so even through that adversity, and we've played some of the biggest schools, not too many teams in our conference get a chance to play as many D1 teams as we have. And that preparation, and even in that, our coaches are keeping them excited about basketball, even though we know going in, the chances of us beating teams at that level are hard, but it gives us an opportunity to learn and grow. And man, it's just been an awesome season. And only God could have pulled off something like this. First, sending us these amazing coaches is a God thing. But then to have them and watch them grow in their faith is just amazing. And seeing that they are learning even more and more how God's favor plays into all of this. It's been incredible to watch. I was, boo-hoo. Can I say that? And it's Sasha's fault. She looked at me, tears running. But at the end of that game, it was like, I felt like it was one of those movie moments. It was magical. And we have one young lady who is really special, Jalea Polidor. She was on that team, and she's still with us today. Yeah. And she's the kind of battle buddy that you want. She stayed in the foxhole, and she saw it all. And so we're so grateful. I mean, I just can't thank God enough for what I see as just an incredible story. So if you know any script writers, Jaylen, just send them out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Send them our way.
I got you. And then kind of you spoke on how having coaches in those positions and having the right people there and how it's kind of had an effect and an impact on the organization and the expansion of the organization. What does it mean to have those kind of people ordained by God and put them in those positions? And how do you kind of see that improving on itself?
You know, it's God's work. You could see it in them. You know, how do you get, somebody from 4 NCAA at a Division II level? How do you get somebody who's played at a mid-major college on the East Coast, Florida Atlantic? I shout out to you, sister. Playing at that level, how do you get that? But by God's grace. And then in her, just seeing, when I saw her last year in the assistance role, and the way that she responded it and was there even in those low moments, I knew that she was God sent. And I'm just grateful. Nobody but God could do something like this.
And then you stating that you've been around the game for a long time, so you've had a bird's eye view to kind of see everything as it's transpired. What are some of the differences you've seen from the game when you first started playing and started watching and enjoying it to nowadays, and how do you kind of impact that at a collegiate level?
Come on, man. Now you bringing me way back. I started, I'll be on my 68th journey around the sun in August. So I've been watching basketball. I've been coaching basketball. I coached AAU. I coached AAU at Missouri City Middle School. I coached at Presbyterian School. And over the years, the game has changed. It's gone from a physical inside game to a more outside game where, there was no way that you could put up more than three three-pointers of the game and remain in the game. Now it's expected. The game is much faster. It's played at a faster pace. So I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about the new offense, the new defensive nuances that these coaches are telling me. And I've got to open up my ears and just listen sometimes because it is new. It's faster, and I appreciate the way that the game is growing now. It's more attractive than it was back in my day. But it's phenomenal. Loving every minute of it.
And we have just about a minute remaining. So, Maria, as we close it out, I do want to ask you, what are you most looking forward to in your journey moving forward?
Well, I do want to say this for my team, that we're going to win nationals. Mm-hmm. Yes. Regionals. We're going to go to nationals. And I just look to keep working hard, keep encouraging my teammates, working out with my teammates. And yeah.
Maria, Chap, I appreciate you guys so much for coming on and sharing some of your knowledge. I thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. And for everyone tuning in, we appreciate you guys for watching and being part of what we have going on. We hope to see you soon, and thank you.